All right, everyone. I'm going to show you guys how to add a fresh up or a phone up to this system, but we're going to add something to this by making this customer searchable for the future. This goes for new units if they're looking for something specific. For example, like a 2027 Thrive 24 RKS. And this will also work really well for used units as well, because you're going to be grouping customers to ensure that when you search this, you can find all the customers looking for that specific item or that kind of trailer. So if you see something coming in on trade, you can call all of those people looking for that thing. So we're going to start off by clicking the Add Quick Up function right there. All right, we're just going to make up a name. We're going to call this guy Tom. And we're going to call this guy Tom Tom, or his last name Tom Tom. We're going to just enter a phone number in here for him and make up a fake email. Fake email at fakeemail.com. Alrighty, if you have their address, please make sure to put that in. These two sections are unbelievably important. Whenever you have a customer, make sure you get their number and their email. Email is how we communicate via mass text, or how you guys can communicate privately via email as well. Obviously, you need the phone number so you can call or text that customer. Alrighty, so we're going to log this one as a fresh up. I'm going to change the person that we're logging this for. We're going to call it Brandon's customer. Alrighty, so we're going to work under Brandon's thing. Also, if you get this pop-up, there's probably something wrong with the email. Obviously, there's something wrong with this email, so we're just going to bypass this by saving anyway and skip right through that portion. So first off, we're going to click what we did. We demoed the vehicle. Did we complete the write-up? If you completed a write-up, please send that there. If you've gone through the whole process and sent it to the F&I department to get it financed, you're going to click that as well. Alrighty, for your notes, this is very important that you do this well. So you're going to first start out by putting in keywords. Keywords are what a customer is looking for. For this instance, we're going to use a used bunkhouse travel trailer. I'm notating it because if you want to, you can type in used bunkhouse travel trailer if you want, but that takes a long time. The important thing is if you are picking a keyword, it needs to be the same every single time, because this is how it searches. So if you want them all grouped, you can't use one as a used BHTT and then type the next one out as a used bunkhouse travel trailer. You have to be 100% the same exact wording every single time. The next thing that this guy is looking for, the next thing we're gonna add for this person is kind of a price range. This gives you an idea, something you can look back on if you need it. So these are the simple keywords I'm gonna put in there. You can also do something like use BHTT just to make it even simpler for you. Just simple keywords, easy to type, easy to find. The next thing we're gonna do is something about this customer. So we need to know what they're looking for, who they are, or we already know what they're looking for, but who they are, their dynamics and all that stuff. I'm going to keep this one really simple, but the more notes you add, the better. So we're going to put has a family of 4, 2 young children, and then you want something to remember this customer by. If you know the customer's name, you're going to put something in there, like the wife's name is Rose, and then something that's going to trigger your memory. We'll just do something like this. This guy has an 80s haircut. It's almost a Jerry curl, but a little weirder. Something like that. Something that when this customer shows up, you're going to be able to look at it and see that it is, it'll remind you of this customer. Anyways, we're going to click Save. I want you guys to pay close attention to the keywords right here. These are really, really, really important. All right, so that use BHTT 25,000. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to go over here. We're going to copy this. So whenever you add a customer, you're going to have automatically generated tasks. So we don't want you guys to focus on those automatically generated tasks as much. It's just a reminder to make sure that you're following up with those customers. We want you to be setting your own tasks so you remember when you're supposed to follow up with this customer and what you're following up with them on. So you have a couple different options to make your own task. You can either schedule a phone call, you can schedule an appointment, which you won't do unless you've actually scheduled an appointment, or you can set a reminder. Most of the time you're going to be setting a reminder. We're going to click that right there. it's going to take you to this screen right here. First thing I'm going to do is just change this to Brandon's name. You're going to have to select a reminder from the dropdown. Obviously, we have not sold this customer yet, so we're still searching our inventory. We didn't have what he was looking for, or what we had did not suit his needs. So we're still trying to find him something that works, okay? So we've copied that down below. We're now going to paste our notes that we made. That means you don't have to type it twice. It's just very easy that way. So at this point, we don't want to follow up the same day we just logged him, which is 7/22. And then, so we want to put this out, let's just say a week. So we're going to follow up on the 29th. Alrighty, we want to be reminded 1 week from now. It's going to keep that customer in front of us so we can't forget about them. We know how busy sales can be sometimes, or how many people you're going through, so it's easy to forget about people. You want these customers coming up in your tasks to do, so you're constantly reminded of them, especially if they're buyers. Alrighty, so we're going to add that in there. So now you have an open inventory search. This is going to be yellow, all right? If it is red, it will not be searchable. If it is yellow, it will be searchable. Now you also need to remember to keep up on your tasks that are automatically generated. If you start falling behind, it might be hard to find this inventory search as well. So you need to make sure you're continuing doing your tasks on a daily basis and keeping them caught up. Otherwise, this search feature might not work for you. So anyways, we have this set in here for the 29th. I'm just going to refresh the page real quick, make sure everything locks in. We're going to act like we're a couple days down the line. We just saw a used bunkhouse travel trailer coming in on trade. So we're going to go and we're going to be in the opportunities tab. We're in this little check mark right here. We're going to be in the opportunities tab. We're going to act like Tom is going to be far down in this list. So he is, out of 500 people, he's going to be buried at like the 300 person mark all the way down this list. So we have no idea where he is, who he is, but we need to be able to find him because, dang it, I have a used bunkhouse travel trailer coming in. So if I start typing in used BHTT, guess who's going to come up? Mr. Tom. When you click that, it'll bring you right to the customer. When you're doing used bunkhouse travel trailer right here, it's searching this task. So it's going to find your keywords. That's why those keywords are so important. And as you start adding more and more customers to this system, you're going to be able to dial in and group those customers. So out of that 500 that Brandon has, we can dial in exactly what that customer is looking for. So if they're looking for a used toy hauler, we can find everybody looking for a used toy hauler. We can find everybody looking for a bunkhouse travel trailer. We can find everybody looking for a couples coach or a rear living room travel trailer. Or if you just want to keep it simple, you can just call it a used travel trailer. You can also add more than this one keyword. I'm just going to edit this real quick for you also. If you just wanted to make it so he's grouped in the used travel trailer section, you can just do used BHTT, used TT. All right. So another cool thing. So let's say you start putting those price points on there. You know how I said 25K after on this list right here? Well, that's going to show up right there because it's finding the exact match to your keywords of used bunkhouse travel trailer for 25,000. Alrighty. So that is how you're going to find a searchable task. Now there's one thing that's very, very, very important for these searchable tasks. You never complete this task until you've sold this customer. All right. You never, ever complete this task until you've sold this customer. We're going to fast forward and act like it is July 29th. So when this task comes up on July 29th on your computer, it's going to look like this. So again, I just said we never complete this task until we've sold this guy a trailer or a coach. Alrighty, so if this shows up like this and you have not sold them something, the first thing you're going to do is hit cancel. All right, it's going to show you this right here, or it's going to take you back to this screen right here. If we have not sold them something, we need to push this inventory search back. So you're going to go over to the due date right there. You're going to click, and we're just going to move it back a week or however many days you want to be reminded of this customer, okay? So we're just going to move back one more week and save it. Now we're going to be reminded to follow up with this customer again in a week. The thing is when you have these automatic follow-ups set up, it's probably a good idea to call this customer. So we're going to act like we called Mr. Tom, and we're going to log what happened. So you have three options here. You can either log a phone call, log a store visit, or log another task. If you're following up via phone call or a text message, text messages are going to be right here. Then you click this. If you want to follow up via phone call and you connect with the customer, you're going to log a phone call. It's going to be an outbound call. We spoke to the customer, called this customer to let them know I am still looking for them. and I have one coming next week. All right, we want to do something like that for this customer. Or we want to do something like that for follow-up, just to make sure that when you do this, and we save it, you're going to have some type of history. So when this guy comes up on August 5th, you can look down and see when's the last time I actually followed up with this customer. That's the entire idea. We can look down and you can see your history. So when you look back, you're like, oh yeah, I called him last week. I'm still looking for him. The whole idea is when you follow up with the customer, you always want to have something come in too, just to keep them on the hook and waiting for you to find the thing. Okay. So just to go back, we never complete this task. If this task shows up on the day that it's due and you have not sold them something, it's going to look like this. You need to hit cancel and you need to change the due date. You never complete this task until this customer is sold. All right. So I'm going to show you one other way to make it. So let's just say you make a mistake. You go through this, you start this task, and then you accidentally complete it and you move on. Everybody makes mistakes. It's going to show up like that. It's gone. This customer might get lost. You're not going to be able to find them because as soon as this turns green, this task is no longer searchable. It's not going to show up anymore. So what we need to do is we need to have a backup plan. The backup plan is going to be basically notating something. So you have a vehicle of interest here. You have these three little dots. We're going to put that it's not in stock. Now, when you get to this screen and we're on a used unit, we're going to use the keywords like used BHTT, like I did in the task down below. Alrighty. We can also put a price point in here. Oops, sorry, 1 second. We can also put a price point in here if we want. So we're going to do it at 25,000. And we're just going to click save. So you know how I mentioned that it is, what the heck is going on here? Let me fix that. Sorry guys, 25,000. There, it should show up just like that. Used bunkhouse travel trailer. It's going to be a price point of where they want it to be. So I mentioned this is no longer searchable. So if we still have 501 opportunities, we make the mistake and accidentally complete the task. So you can still, as your backup plan, type in used BHTT. And every customer that's looking for a used bunkhouse travel trailer is going to show up. The whole idea is when you have one coming in, you're going to have a list of 20, 30 people you guys can call. It'll be organized, simple, and easy to find. Alrighty, so if you have any questions on either one of these things, please let me know via email or a phone call. I'll help walk you through it. There is one last thing I want to go through. So we want every single customer logged. Good, bad, does not matter. So let's say you add a bad one. You know they can't buy. There's no way they can buy. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to make notes. This customer cannot buy. There's no way for them to buy. You need to make sure you know that for the future. So if they come up, you can see that. Alrighty. As soon as you add the customer, the first thing you're going to do is take this customer from active, this little green button right here. We're going to take them out of the market and mark them lost. Nothing can be done. It's not interested in the promotion, and we mark them lost. Alrighty. As soon as they're marked lost, let me refresh the page real quick. And you type in used bunkhouse travel trailer. That customer is no longer going to be findable. Okay. He will no longer come up. He's gone forever. There is a way to find them, of course, if you wanted to find your lost customers, but you never ever mark a customer lost until there is absolutely no hope whatsoever of making that sale. If there is still the slightest glimmer of hope, you do not mark a customer lost because they're extremely hard to find and you will not be able to sell them something if they're extremely hard to find. Alrighty, if anybody has any questions, like I said, please send me an email or give me a call. I'll walk you through whatever you need, and hopefully this helps organize your customers and makes it easy for you to find everybody.